Imagine a mystery that stumped the human mind, leaving it unsolved. The Bear Brook Murders in New Hampshire's dense woods. In Allenstown, New Hampshire, the Bear Brook Murders tell a chilling tale that spanned from 1985 to 2000. 4 bodies, dismembered and concealed in barrels, left investigators perplexed in Bear Brook State Park. The elusive Chameleon killer, revealed as Terry Rasmussen posthumously in 2017, operated under aliases like Curtis Kimball and Bob Evans. The discovery of the first barrel in 1985 and the second in 2000 intensified the mystery, showcasing a consistent and macabre signature. The identity of the victims remained elusive until amateur sleuths Rebecca Heath and Barbara Ray Venter cracked the code 2 years later, unveiling 3 names. Yet, the 4th victim's identity remains shrouded, adding a haunting layer to the enigma of the Bear Brook Murders. In Bear Brook State Park in Allenstown, New Hampshire, a chilling tableau of horror emerged on November 10, 1985. A hunter's ordinary trek led to the discovery of an industrial steel drum concealing a macabre secret: 2 bodies, dismembered and highly skeletonized, casting an ominous shadow over the wooded landscape. The victims, rendered beyond recognition, bore the tragic stamp of a demise between 1977 and 1985. Their identities remained elusive, compelling investigators to enter them into a nearby cemetery with a poignant epitaph, making an end to their story, but not the mystery surrounding them. The chilling case lay dormant until May 9, 2000, when history echoed its gruesome refrain. A second 55-gallon drum, mirroring its predecessor, was unearthed in the same haunting location. Within its confines lay the mutilated bodies of 2 young girls, mirroring the horrors discovered 15 years earlier. As investigators grappled with the weight of this nightmarish revelation, the enigma deepened. The victims, like their predecessors, defied identification, and the killer's identity remained elusive. For 17 years, the Bear Brook secret whispered through the trees, concealed in the profound silence of a wooded realm. In a startling twist, the shroud of silence began to unravel in 2017 when the elusive killer, Terry Rasmussen, finally emerged from the shadows. The victims' identities continued to elude authorities, prompting the relentless pursuit of truth by amateur sleuths. It took an additional 2 years of fervent investigation, fueled by the tenacity of those driven by an unyielding quest for justice, for the victims' identities to surface. The timeline of discovery and silence in Bear Brook, etched over decades, weaves a tale of horror, resilience, and the indomitable spirit that seeks to comfort the darkness that lingers beneath the canopy of New Hampshire's serene wilderness. Almost 15 years after the initial grim discovery in Bear Brook State Park, on May 9, 2000, a solemn detective ventured back to the haunting site, seeking answers to the silent woods. There, concealed within a 55-gallon industrial steel drum, the harsh reality of another tragedy unfolded, a heart-wrenching testament to the enduring darkness that clung to the New Hampshire landscape. As New Hampshire State Trooper John Cody delicately peeled back the plastic shroud, the skeletal remains of 2 young girls emerged, silent witnesses to an unfathomable truth. The first girl, aged between 2 and 5 years, bore the distinct marks of innocence, a gap in her front teeth and a noticeable overbite. Beside her, the youngest, estimated to be between 1 and 3 years old, mirrored her companion's dental features. The bones, though silent, spoke volumes about the horror that had befallen those tender lives. Despite the 1985 barrel eluding detection, investigators held a grim belief that all 4 victims had succumbed to the same brutal fate: blunt force trauma inflicted during a shared time frame. This heart-wrenching revelation, while shedding a flicker of light on the identities of the innocent lives lost, plunged the Bear Brook case into a renewed and unsettling silence. The woods, shrouded in mystery, bore witness to the echo of sorrow, a haunting reminder of the enigma that lay beneath the serene surface of Bear Brook State Park. In the annals of criminal history, the enigma behind the Bear Brook murders cast a chilling shadow until 2017, when the elusive killer was finally unmasked through the intricate web of genetic genealogy. The man behind the aliases Bob Evans, Lawrence Vanner, and more notably Terry Peter Rasmussen had adeptly eluded authorities for years, his true identity shrouded in darkness. Rasmussen's criminal tapestry revealed a haunting history. Jail time served under different names for offenses ranging from theft to vehicle theft and drunk driving. His most heinous act unfurled in 2001 when, adopting the guise of Lawrence Vanner, he mercilessly murdered his girlfriend Yoon Jun, leaving her dismembered remains concealed in the shadows of a basement. The tendrils of Rasmussen's malevolence extended far beyond, woven into the mysterious disappearance of Denise Bawden and her daughter Dawn from New Hampshire. A chilling connection emerged as authorities traced Rasmussen's fingerprints and DNA to the Bear Brook victims, confirming the horrifying revelation that one of them was his own daughter. Described by law enforcement as a chameleon, Rasmussen's ability to reinvent himself and slip through the grasp of justice marked him as a formidable and dangerous figure. The breakthrough in the Bear Brook case, achieved through the innovative method of genetic genealogy, lifted the veil on the sinister and mysterious life of the man responsible for the chilling murders, finally offering a semblance of closure to a long-standing and haunting mystery. During the 1980s, operating under the alias Bob Evans, Terry Peter Rasmussen resided in Manchester, New Hampshire with Denise Bawden and her infant daughter. Tragically, Denise was missing shortly after Thanksgiving in 1981, and although her family suspected financial troubles as the cause, they never reported her disappearance. Authorities later deduced that Rasmussen had likely murdered Denise and abandoned her. Departing New Hampshire, he surfaced in California with Denise's daughter, whose fate and identity became entwined in the sinister web woven by Rasmussen. Rasmussen's life unfolded through a series of aliases and criminal activities. Born on December 23, 1943 in Colorado, he enlisted in the U.S. Navy in 1961, serving until 1967. His life took various turns, marked by marriages, births, and transient employment, including stints as an electrician. In the early 1980s, Rasmussen lived in Los Alamitos, California, using the name Curtis Kimball. Arrested in 1985 for driving while intoxicated and endangering a child, Denise Bawden's daughter, he adopted the alias Gordon Curtis Jensen. Following an arrest in 1988 for driving a stolen vehicle under the name Gary Mockerman, Rasmussen's criminal past began to catch up with him. Despite arrests, he remained elusive, using aliases like Lawrence Vanner in California, where he entered an unofficial marriage with Yoon Jun in 2001. Their union ended tragically when Yoon was found dismembered and buried in her basement in 2002. Rasmussen, under the alias Lawrence Vanner, pleaded guilty to her murder. In 2010, Rasmussen passed away in prison, still known as Bob Evans. It wasn't until 2017, through DNA analysis and genetic genealogy, that investigators unmasked Rasmussen's true identity. His connections to the Bear Brook murders surfaced as DNA evidence linked him to one of the victims, his daughter. The mystery deepened as investigators, armed with the knowledge of the killer's true identity, faced the challenge of identifying the victims in the Bear Brook murders. The lingering questions and gaps in Rasmussen's history, the revelation shed on the dark and complex life of a man who operated as a chameleon, leaving a trail of violence, disappearance, and unsolved mysteries in his wake. Amid the chilling narrative of the Bear Brook murders, an elusive figure shrouded in mystery persists: the middle child. Despite her remains, DNA, and a poignant composite sketch crafted by Joe Mullins of the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, NCMEC, her identity remains veiled in the shadows of the past. In a haunting revelation, Mullins, a senior forensic imaging specialist, reflected on the profound impact of unpacking skulls during the investigation. The realization that these were the remnants of a mother and 2 children, with one child still unnamed, left an indelible mark. The weight of the unknown pressed upon him, symbolizing the inexplicable disappearance of lives. The composite sketch, an artistic fusion of anthropology and technology, offers a poignant glimpse into the visage of the unidentified middle child. As the image takes form, the questions persist, echoing through the corridors of unresolved mysteries. DNA unraveled a crucial thread. Terry Rasmussen, the notorious serial killer, was the biological father of the middle child. This revelation merely deepens the enigma. Who is she? Was her mother yet another tragic victim ensnared by the malevolent grasps of Terry Rasmussen? The Bear Brook Murders, a haunting tableau of loss, demand relentless pursuit, an unwavering quest to unravel the identity of the middle child and untangle the complex web of a killer's legacy. This labyrinth of uncertainty, the NCMEC's composite sketch, stands as a poignant reminder of the faces that remain unseen, urging humanity to confront the shadows and seek justice for those consigned to anonymity. In the haunting labyrinth of Terry Peter Rasmussen's crimes, the discovery of Elizabeth Lamott added yet another layer of sorrow to the tapestry of victims. Her story, shrouded in mystery and tragedy, unfolded as investigators delved into the chilling details of her disappearance. On November 22, 1984, Elizabeth Lamott, a teenager from Manchester, embarked on a furlough from the Youth Development Center, YDC, to Gill Stadium in New Hampshire. This seemingly routine excursion marked the beginning of her ominous journey into the clutches of the unknown. The YDC closed Elizabeth's case on July 27, 1985, her 18th birthday, despite her never returning to the facility. The silence surrounding her whereabouts persisted until April 14, 1985, when her lifeless body was discovered along Interstate 81 in Greene County, Tennessee. The cause of her demise, determined to be blunt force trauma to the head, spoke of a brutality echoing the modus operandi of the elusive killer, Terry Rasmussen. For decades, Elizabeth remained an unidentified victim, her story entangled in the shadows. It wasn't until 2018 that the tendrils of her tragic fate found a connection to the Bear Brook Murders and the malevolent figure behind them. The journey to unveil Elizabeth's identity involved the submission of her remains to the University of North Texas for human identification in 2006. Entered into the Federal Bureau of Investigation's combined DNA index system, her genetic fingerprint eventually led investigators to a breakthrough. As the New Hampshire Attorney General's office clarified that Elizabeth Lamott was not Elizabeth Evans, the quest for answers intensified. The alias Elizabeth Evans had surfaced in connection with Bob Evans, one of Rasmussen's many guises in a 1980 arrest report. The ripple effect of Rasmussen's crimes continued to reverberate, weaving a complex web of victims, some identified and others still shrouded in anonymity. Elizabeth Lamott's tragic tale stands as a testament to the enduring mysteries that persist, prompting ongoing investigations in the hope of unraveling the secrets concealed by the elusive killer. In the intricate web of the Bear Brook Murders, a group of amateur sleuths emerged as unsung heroes, injecting fresh life into an investigation shrouded in darkness. The catalyst for this newfound energy was the Bear Brook podcast, which, like a beacon, drew the attention of individuals like Becky Heath, a diligent librarian from Connecticut. Becky, captivated by the mystery, became consumed by a relentless quest for answers during her spare hours. Her dedication led her deep into the labyrinth of online forums and posts until she stumbled upon a revelation. An individual claiming to be the half-sister of Sarah McWaters, a missing child linked to a family of 3 who had disappeared in the late 1970s. The family, composed of Sarah McWaters, her infant sister, and older sibling Marie Elizabeth Vaughn, was enigmatic and seemingly lost to the passage of time. As Becky delved further, the shadowy figure of Terry Rasmussen loomed large. Marlise Honeychurch, the mother of the vanished trio, had reportedly been seen with Rasmussen around the time of her disappearance. The coincidences stacked up, and Becky realized the magnitude of her discovery. This thread, seemingly small, had the potential to unravel the tightly wound mystery of the Bear Brook murders. Genetic genealogist Barbara Ray Venter, operating independently, utilized cutting-edge techniques to analyze the victim's DNA. Employing an innovative method capable of recovering autosomal DNA from rootless hair strands, Ray Venter's efforts bore fruit after months of meticulous work. Becky Heath, driven by a relentless pursuit of truth, submitted her findings to authorities in October 2018. The revelations provided a missing link, connecting the unidentified victims to the enigmatic Terry Rasmussen. In June of 2019, the veil of anonymity lifted for 3 of the victims: Marlise Honeychurch, Marie Elizabeth Vaughn, and Sarah McWaters. The clarity, a poignant question lingered. Who was the middle child, the daughter of Terry Rasmussen, the 4th victim? The collaborative efforts of amateur sleuths and professionals had cracked open the case, but the haunting enigma of Bear Brook endured, with one final piece of the puzzle awaiting discovery: the identity of the elusive middle child. Over the course of years, Joe Mullins, a seasoned forensic imaging specialist at the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, NCMEC, has been at the forefront of refining the image of the unidentified middle child in the Bear Brook case. Armed with the remains, DNA evidence, and his artistic skills, Mullins has dedicated relentless efforts to shed light on the mystery surrounding this anonymous victim. Reflecting on his work, Mullins expressed profound disbelief as he unpacked the skulls, grappling with the notion that an entire family could seemingly vanish without a trace. "These are a mother and 2 of her children, another identified little girl. I was just blown away by this case," he remarked. The Bear Brook case, notorious for its intricate web of identities and victims, has not only captivated law enforcement agencies, but has also enlisted the engagement of amateur investigators from the community. Mullins underscores the vital role played by community interest, emphasizing the invaluable tips it has contributed to the ongoing investigation. Recent breakthroughs in the case have exposed Terry Rasmussen as the perpetrator, responsible for the deaths of identified victims, including Marlise Honeychurch and her daughters. The 4th victim, Rasmussen's biological daughter, remains shrouded in anonymity. Scott Maxwell and his sister, Rhonda Randall of Oak Hill Research, have poured thousands of hours into unraveling the case's complexities. Their unwavering pursuit of answers, coupled with collaborative efforts involving law enforcement, genealogists, and the wider community, underscores the significant role that collective determination plays in deciphering the intricacies of the Bear Brook mystery. Terry Rasmussen's criminal journey unfolds over decades, leaving a trail of mysteries. His New Hampshire crimes, starting in the 1980s, entwine lives and evade justice. The Bear Brook murders, discovered in 1985 and 2000, reveal a chilling tableau of unidentified victims. Podcasts and amateur sleuths reignite interest, uncovering shocking truths in 2019. Rasmussen's sinister odyssey extends to California, culminating in the 2001 murder of Yoon Soon Jun. The unresolved identity of the middle child, Rasmussen's daughter, adds to the lingering questions, emphasizing the enduring impact of his malevolence. As we navigate the intricacies of Rasmussen's malevolence, we're reminded of the relentless pursuit of truth by amateur sleuths and investigative pioneers. The identification of the Bear Brook victims in 2019 brought closure to some. Yet, the elusive identity of the middle child, Rasmussen's daughter, leaves us with unanswered questions. Thank you for joining us on this chilling journey through the twisted timeline of Terry Rasmussen's crimes. The Bear Brook murders, a haunting enigma, unravel through decades, leaving an indelible mark on those touched by its darkness. The shadows of unresolved mysteries persist, echoing the enduring impact of these heinous acts. We appreciate your engagement with this riveting narrative, and if you haven't already, consider subscribing for more deep dives into the mysteries that shape our history. Until next time, stay curious, stay vigilant, and may the pursuit of truth guide us through the darkest corners of the human experience.